All right, it is indeed a very, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is the 6th of March 2023, tarehe 6 mwezi wa 3 mwaka 2023. Natumai kwamba uko salama, umeamka vizuri. Mwezi tarehe 6 mwezi wa 3 mwaka 2023, the 6th of March 2023. This is the Tackle the Common Sense edition of the 6th of March 2023, and it begins right now. Kama kawaida, on the Common Sense edition, every single Monday we talk about life and money. We get to talk about your life and also talk about your money and help you make better financial decisions, make better life decisions, and ensure that you can be a better person as you kickstart the week. This is Monday of the 6th of March 2023, the Common Sense edition, and it begins right now. Haya, jana tulikuwa pale kwenye men only. We had a conversation last night on men only. We told you that you can join us this morning on the Common Sense edition, life and money, and we'll be talking about wealth creation. What is your best pathways to wealth? And also, of course, we'll be having the discussions around the state of the economy. The biggest conversation in the country right now is about the cost of living and also mambo ya dollar. Those guys who are trading with dollars, the importers and all are crying, while the exporters are very happy. Nasema kwamba one man's food is another man's poison. One man's poison is another man's food. Tuko na Michael Thotho, who is a financial consultant and programs manager at Centonomy. We are with Michael Thotho, who is a financial consultant and programs manager at Centonomy. I think it's the first time I'm hearing such a name, Thotho. It's not very common.
Hiyo sio ya wengi. Only for the chosen few.
Thotho ni jina wapi kwanza?
Hiyo ndio wacha niseme mimi ni Mkenya. Wacha tuseme tu hivyo. Gerald, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Man, I'm glad, I'm excited, and I'm honored to be on your show today. As I told you as I was walking in, I've seen a couple of your interviews, and yeah, you do quite a good job.
Wow,
thank you so much. When I received the call, I was like, "Uko lazima niende."
Lazima ufike.
Lazima nifika, and thank you for having me.
I think it's quite an honor also to get such a review from you. Thank you so much for having faith in us and also accepting to.
You do a good job. If you do a good job, then yes, what watatambua.
Yes. You're also doing an amazing job. You see, numbers, one of the craziest things that can happen for me. For instance, mimi numbers kwanza nilishindwa kabisa. Kidogo ilibaki nipate W kwa hesabu.
Sasa unajua numbers, fortunately or unfortunately, we cannot escape. Even if you're in the arts, even if you're wherever you are, even if you're in politics, numbers will always have to matter. And one thing about numbers is they never lie. Yes.
Lazima upige hesabu kwa sawa.
Lazima.
All right, Jenny, please, like when you we get to know that you're watching us, and after please share when you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the program. Jenny, please, like when you we get to know that you're watching us, and please share when you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. Kama kawaida, tuende mbele za Mungu tuombe, halafu tukirudi basi tunakuja kuona nani ameweza kuamka. Mighty Father, we come before you this morning. You worship, you glorify your name. Thank you for another opportunity to be alive. We thank you for this day. We thank you for this week. We thank you for this Monday. As we kickstart the week, we pray that you're going to meet us at the point of very individual needs. At the tacklers join us this morning, we also speak to their needs. And as we have this conversation, may it edify each one of us. So we pray, trusting and believing. Amen. In other news, Manu,
wewe bwana lazima ungeanzia hapo.
Manu amepigwa kama wezi.
Gerald, did you have to start there?
I could see that you're looking corner lazima ni fan wa Manu.
7, bro. Hey.
What's happening with Manu?
Hey, okay.
And don't start telling us about those things of us. We win when we want and we lose.
Maybe at least number one, let's start with that we already have a cup. Number 2, I think fatigue imepata vijana wetu wa Old Trafford. So tumecheza I think 10 games in February. I think if I'm not wrong. So fatigue kidogo.
Lakini hata kama nikupigwa, hata kama ni fatigue jamani. 7. Hata mungeka hata kamoja.
Hata ya machozi. But anyway, we soldier on. Bado tuko number 3. Points pale kidogo Arsenal wameenda sana. Sijui kama tutaweza kuwafikia, wako na 63 points. So sisi hapa tuko na 49 ama ngapi? Anyway. Mambo ni kama hayo.
Lakini mwizi hata apigwa wangu hivyo.
Unakumbuka Arsenal tuliwapiga 8-2.
Alizolieka kakitu. Sasa nyinyi jameni. Hata ya kuambia mafans tu pole.
Anyway, we move on.
Anyway, if you're near a Man U fan, please give them a hug. They really need it. They need it. They need it. If you can look at Michael now, Michael is in a very bad shape. So if you are near a Man U fan, please give them a hug and tell them it shall be better. Yatapita. Patrick Kimgana, good morning. Gerald Bitok, good morning. Thank you so much, my brother, for always being number one. Thank you, Patrick Kimgana. Good to see you this morning. Ivan Skiptiti, morning. Gerald tuned in. Asante David Koech. Good morning, Gerald Bitok on the Situation Room. Consider live on time. Hi, Asante Dennis Kirui. Gerald Bitok ni supporter wa Man U. Hapana, hiyo nimekataa. I have refused. They didn't watch a football. Nianza hata kuona mpira ya wamama. Na Women's League. Gatita, to see the broadcast. Thank you so much, Gatita. Moses Gitao. Good morning. It's a beautiful day. Good morning, gentlemen. It's a bright morning here in Nairobi. Good morning to you, Brenda Bresh. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. Elliot Kibiot. Good morning. Following up, Asante VK Manyakir. Good morning, bro. Tuned in as usual. Dan Ongira. Hello, student. Brightmouth Research Center is here to give you... Maamkia advertisement mapema hii. Mapema ndio best. Tuanze kwanza na kabiashara tukisonga. Okay. Aya. If you have joined us, you're just joining us, please like. When you like, you get to know that you're watching us. And that will please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. If you have joined in and you've not shared, please do something. Fanya kitu hapo. Ngadi asante. Moses Getawa, it's a beautiful... I think there's a comment I'm missing here. Okay. Kabon Sara, good to see you. Watching live from Eldoret. Watu wa Man U waache kiburi. Hakuna chafatik, nimecheka yangu yote. Hava dota fan wa Man U, wacha wakipate. Tessa Mustana. Good morning to Dick from Sydney. Good to see you. It's been a while. Our good sister from Sydney. It's been a while. Na kuna watu wengi wa Sydney sana sijawaona. Watu wa Sydney sijawaona kwa muda. Roy Williams anasema good work. The studio looks live. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Kirgit Kalia, VC, Vice Chancellor wa Kulel University. Anasema we are tuned in. Please ask the public to stand in silence for 1 minute to mourn Manius Kiburi. It was late to rest 7 feet last night. I think if there's someone who has really celebrated the suffering of Man U, it has to be Kirgit Kalia. Kwanza inafaa kuja hapa tukutackle kwanza. Umepotea, ulikataa, umeyepa. We need to get you and tackle you here. Watu wa Man U poleni sana. We want to tell you the Lord shall speak to your lives and you shall be comforted. Don't worry. Mungu ako na nyinyi. Hata kama mashindano la mpira, kuna vitu mingi ya kufanya. Kuna basketball, kuna hata kalongolongo. Mchezo ni mchezo.
Remember we have a cup already. One cup in the bag already.
There's a difference between a cup and a okombe.
Hata kama ni chai. Silverware.
All right, well anyway, that's it. Manchester United, amen. Yatapita tu. Poleni sana kwa hiyo msiba ya kulimwa. Mambo itakuwa sawa. Please be kind to Man U fans. Be kind to Man U fans. They really need it. They need it. All right, so straight to you. I want to give you an opportunity to say hello to the tacklers. It's your first time joining them. Maybe introduce yourself.
Again, grateful to be here.
What exactly you do?
First of all, asante sana kwa kuni invite hapa. When I got the call from Muthoni, I was like, wow, okay, huko naenda asubuhi na mapema. And yes, tumefika. And let's do this. So, first of all, I'd like to give thanks to God for a new day, a new week. And then also to your fans who are already tuned in early.
Nakwanga mapema best.
Mapema ndio best as we say. So, everyone who's tuned in, karibuni sana. My name is Michael Thotho, and I am a programs manager pale Centonomy.
Okay.
Yes. So allow me to do a quick introduction about Centonomy.
Yes, that is very important.
So Centonomy, ukienda kwa dictionary, it is not an English word, definitely. But it is a word made out of 2 English words. First one is cent, meaning money. The other one is autonomy, tukatoa your auto. So Centonomy. Right? So we deal with money and financial freedom. Let's just call it that. Okay. Financial freedom. So, and our mission is to shift the mindsets of purposeful people like your fans who have tuned in this early morning, to shift their mindsets so that they can start thinking differently and so that they can create wealth and live abundantly. Okay. Yes. So we talk about money, but in general, it is wealth creation.
Okay.
Yes.
Talk about money, but in general is wealth creation.
Utajiri yani. Sio pesa tu, utajiri.
Utaenda kufanikiwa.
Bas.
Mwaka wa kupanuliwa ndio.
Yes.
2023. Also kama ni mkulima and you want to also create your wealth, ensure that if you are a farmer, ensure that you can use all the products from Unga Group. Kama wewe ni mkulima na unalisha ng'ombe, unalisha nguruwe, unalisha kuku, unalisha samaki, ensure that you can get your feeds from Unga Group. Very soon you shall be seeing them from tomorrow, able to show you on screen what you can get. Ensure that you can get Fugo from Unga Group. The best formula and best nutrients for your farm. All right? Tuanze na uchumi. State of the economy. What is the state of the economy? As it is.
As it is, clearly people are not doing so well as it is, yeah?
What do you mean people?
As kwa ground, wacha tuseme hivyo. Kwa ground, watu kidogo wananungunika. First of all, because increase in the cost of living. Yes. When you go to the supermarket, goods have increased. Kitambo ulikuwa unaenda na 1,000, unapiga shopping yako mzuri sana. Sasa hiyo 1,000 inabeba vitu 3. All right?
Chunga.
Yeah, and so that's why I say state of the economy is not looking so good. Cost of living has gone high, and then also unfortunately makazi kidogo hazipatikani. Unfortunately pia kiangazi. So tuseme drought imetuadhiri pia in state of economy as well. But we are still hopeful. We remain hopeful at the end of the day. And now that we are here in this situation, probably we can now see what to do to get out of here, and then also what to do so that next time when we're in such a situation, we'll be better off. Because as it is right now, there are those who are living comfortably. Kuna wenye wa complain, si ndio? Yeah.
Kama wewe.
Mimi wacha niseme Mwenyezi Mungu amenibariki. So I can't complain much, but I am feeling a slight of a pinch. Okay. Yes. But kuna wenye hata hawasikii kitu. Yes.
So let me ask you, of course, you're speaking about this is the first time that you're talking about the economy being on its stretch. We talked about it very, many times. I don't think there's a time I can remember that people have ever said uchumi ni mzuri. Hata wazazi walikuwa wanasemanga uchumi ni mbaya, uchumi ya siku hizi ni mbaya. Na walikuwa wazee. Hata your grandfather was not even wearing clothes. Your time alikuwa anasema uchumi ya siku hizi ni mbaya sana. But then again, when you look at the reports that come out, you speak about the economy growing in double digits, the economy is growing. When you talk about the economy growing, who is it growing for exactly? Who is it growing for?
Well, also, just to say that it is not everyone who's being affected, because there are sectors in this country that are opening up. Okay? So kuna watu wenye wanaendelea na maisha vizuri. For instance, there are businesses that are booming or that are still continuing to grow. For instance, the era that you are in, the digital era, we would not have such an opportunity, 15 years ago. Would we be here? Tungekuwa probably haingekuwa, si ndio? So you see, people like you have gotten an opportunity using the technology and internet. So when you say there is growth in the economy, it could be because of entrance of such markets, of entrance of such ways of doing business. Let's just say that. Wale watu wanafanya social media, all those things. Unaona sasa hiyo ni a new way of making money, a new way of living. Right? So that's where we can also say economy hapo ina grow. Also you can see construction is growing. Watu wanaendelea kujenga manyumba, all these things, yeah. So even as that is happening, the guys who are producing cement, paint, all those watu were hardware, watu unaona wanaendelea bado ku grow. So that's why we can say that there is that growth in the economy, right? And then also watu lazima wakule. So mama mboga pale lazima atauza kitu at the end of the day. Watu wa hoteli lazima watauza kitu. So tunaweza sema pia the economy, hata kama tuna feel ka pinch, there is also a way that it is growing. Also we can say that kitambo pesa haiko inapatikana sana. Lakini siku hizi if you work, kitambo it was
mara ya mwisho ukiokota pesa na lini?
Mimi
mara ya mwisho nikikota pesa ni wakati wa Moi.
Hapana wewe bana. Hizo siku hata kupata pesa it was really hard.
Wewe what is the last time uliangukia pesa kwa barabara?
Okay, sasa kuangukia kwa barabara that is something different. But I am talking about access to money. right? Back in the day, you would not have access to money easily. Squeezy, you can get on your phone and you have access to money almost immediately, right? And with good use, that money can bring you something. Yes.
So uchumi inategemea mahali huko.
Inategemea mahali huko. It can be bad, it can be good, but mostly depends on what you're doing. Yes.
So how do we make the economy then good for the common mwananchi? Because the person that you're excluding in this point is a common man in the village, or someone who's not really doing much with life, who's probably surviving on the daily wages, trying to build up something. Could be a student who's just from school trying to hustle their way out. How do you make sure that the economy is not just good for a few people? Like you're saying, because what you're confessing actually is what has been said for very many years, that there's only a few people who hold capital in the country, while the rest are impoverished and they live in poverty. So how do you ensure that we have an economy that works for these two sides of one coin?
Now, that is a very hard question, especially for me where I am at. If you were to ask a policy maker that question, they would be in a best position to answer that. Because I believe it is the work of our leaders now to... It is the work of our leaders to now make, first of all, capital accessible to everyone, not just to us who are here, who have access to phones, to everyone. Okay, wakuja na miradi za kusaidia kila mtu. Okay, and I really thought this is the way that we were going when it came to devolution, because we thought mambo sasa itaenda mashinani. Growth would be everywhere, which it has been, but not at a very high rate, because also we can say we are taking baby steps. We are not so old in the devolved way of governing, but I believe in future things will be good. Okay. Yeah. Even as devolution takes place, even as the devolution gets deeper, kila mtu pale mashinani atafikiwa. But I'd like to give a kudos to the government. It is trying. You can see access to roads, to markets. It is trying. But I believe we can always do better.
You can always do better. Yes. All right. Let's speak about the dollar. Of course, the biggest conversation of many Kenyans' mouth and also leaders would be about the dollar and what is happening with the dollar against the shilling. The price of the shilling against the dollar. Actually, it's performing. And I saw a tweet by Moses Kuria talking about how Davis Chirchir in the Ministry of Energy is trying to stabilize and ensure they can bring the dollar to 85 Kenyan shillings, or $1 against 85 Kenyan shillings. I think that's what we can say. Bringing the dollar to 85 Kenyan shillings. First of all, what informs or what determines the value of the currency in the market, like the Kenyan against the dollar, the Kenyan shillings against the dollar?
Now, I would like to confess, first of all, I am not an economist. Maybe my line of work is just trying to advise people on how they can manage their money better. But niko na knowledge kidogo ka finance. So the state of the dollar na economy zinaambatana. First of all, I think it is generally how the economy is doing. And as you said, there was a tweet by our CS that he wants to bring the dollar to 85. And I hope that happens soon. Because when you see the dollar rising, that also means a lot of things will rise, especially in costs. For instance, imports. We normally import things using the dollar. Wale wanafanya mambo ya biashara ya import ya magari, anything that you're importing from outside the country, we use the dollar. And if the dollar is high, then that means the cost of bringing things to the country is going to be high, right? And if that cost is high, then that means that even the cost of distributing it to the people, the price, the end price of that commodity is going to be high. So I hope the government does what it's supposed to do so that it can at least stabilize, right? Try and fanya mambo ya fiscal policy, monetary policy, all these things. And then I would also like to urge the government, siasa isikuwe mingi sana, especially when it comes to the economy, right? Let's get on the ground and let's actually do this for the common good of the people. Yes.
Okay. All right. Roy Williams V. Nasema for Kali Chicks, good morning. I hope you're doing well. It says Test of the Nation, Gerald Bitok. Where government employees are very lazy. I went to Duma Center for Services, but reaching there I'm very disappointed. Person this morning, government should try to recruit friendly employees like many of private companies. Some government employees are fed up with earning salary. There is a lot of jobless Kenyans willing to serve. You're going to get service. Someone is embarrassing. Pole sana to Gianco. But I think sometimes one of the qualifications for being a government employee, especially in the service industry, is attitude. You need to have some sprinkle of bad attitude. Just to keep citizens on their toes. Not pole sana. I will do my number actually watching. We'll talk them up. They're going to get this feedback. Naina Wanjoki Ujambo Kiongozi. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well by now. Moses Kito, the cost of doing business in the country is very expensive, and this is pushing investors and manufacturers away and killing the spirit of innovation. Okay. Naina Wanjoki, the owners of dollars printed and donated a lot of dollars during COVID-19, and now they are doing all ways to call back their dollars to stabilize it worldwide. Does that make sense?
Somehow it could be because inaweza kuwa unajua hizi vitu could be there's I believe there's always a hint of truth somewhere in someone's comments. Yes. Yeah.
So let me ask you then, if we are saying that how wouldn't we fix the dollar, because a lot of guys who are actually putting off the tweet by Moses Kuria that that's not how to fix the dollar. How would we ensure that the Kenyan shillings remain strong against not even just the dollar, but against any other foreign currencies, so that the exchange becomes easier? Because if you look at Kenya, it's a net importer generally. So how do we ensure that the Kenyan shilling is actually performing better against any other foreign currencies?
Again, Gerald, mimi
na you're not economist. Unacheza karibu na pesa.
Mimi nachezea tu karibu na pesa na ni pesa ya ile pesa niko nayo hapa already ama ile pesa uko nayo. But I think what the government can do is just first of all make doing business easy. Right? Make doing business easy. Watu wakikuwa na pesa, I think the cost of living first of all will come down, and when the cost of living comes down, hata dola ikipanda watu watakuwa tu sawa. Right? Because you're able to transact at the end of the day. But if you're not able to transact, then there's a problem. So even if the dollar raises, even if the dollar goes down, and you don't have access to that money, then there's a problem. Right? So I think first of all the government should stop a lot of politics, a lot of saying this and that, and just try to make the basics work. Right? Provide good healthcare, jenga barabara, make it easy for guys to trade. Hii mambo ya licenses, we were promised one license. Yes, you see, things like that. If we start with the basics, then I think the rest will come to be fixed. Yes. Okay.
So we talk about wealth creation.
Yes.
First of all, what is wealth?
Sasa now I am in my zone.
Sasa tunaingia sasa.
Sasa ndo tumeingia. Sasa when it comes to wealth, at Centonomy we say that being wealthy or wealth is the ability for you to live and maintain the lifestyle you desire without having to work for it. In short, unaishi ile maisha unataka. Where you'd like to live is where you're living. The car you'd like to drive is the car you're driving. Ile holiday unataka kwenda, you can go to that holiday, you can take your kids to that school that you desire. Ile zile za or yellow buses kitambo, unakumbuka yellow buses were preserved only for those schools.
Yes.
And if you're able to do that without having to work for it, then we say that you are wealthy. So in short, being wealthy is first of all, people say being healthy is wealthy. True. But also we define wealth as that ability for you to live comfortably, a lifestyle that you desire without really having to work for it. And then it's not just living, but it's maintaining that lifestyle for years, even for the generations after you. So that is what we refer to as true wealth. So hii ya siku moja siku mbili hiyo hapana.
So tunapatanga kidogo tunakimbia Naivasha na that's not wealth.
That is it. If you're able to go to Naivasha every weekend, na uko tu sawa na every other aspect of your life continues, then you're good, then you're wealthy.
Yes. So if you're not able to do that, you're poor.
No. I did not say that. But I am just saying that you need to wake up a bit earlier, work a bit harder, so that you're able to do that comfortably. And not only Naivasha now, extend, go to Mombasa, even go to Mombasa by flight, Yes. then we can say you're wealthy.
Then you can say wealthy. But if you are struggling to do that, if you're still working to get that, then you still have a long way to go in terms of wealth creation. So wealth creation is actually basically defined in the dictionary of commerce as accumulation of assets.
Yes.
Without excluding liabilities and liabilities and debts, I think so.
Yes, liabilities, debts, they all go the same. They all mean the same. So yes, so accumulation of assets, correct. So wacha tuende class ya business education. People who are old like you and I, beard, ama commerce, kizi sijui naitwa aje, watu wa CBC na the others. So what are assets? In a class, assets tuliambiwa are first of all, they should be tangible. They are things that that are valuable. But at Centonomy, we would like to call assets or define assets as things that put money in your pockets. Kama uko na kitu and you believe it is an asset, but it is not putting money in your pockets, it is just removing, then that is not an asset. So in short, an asset should be able to pay you.
To give you money.
To give you money. Yes. And we just defined wealth as the ability to live the lifestyle you desire without having to work for it. Now, how you get to that place is through accumulation of assets. And remember what assets are? Things that put money in your pockets. So that now these assets are funding your lifestyle. Yeah.
So a personal car is not wealth. It's
a personal car that you drive to work and you park.
Alafu unaweka
mafuta. Alafu unalipa mechanic. Alafu unalipa insurance.
Yes, wealth.
Yes, your asset.
That's not an asset.
Let's say we call it a consumption asset.
Okay.
Yes. Again, this can be motive because there are people who like their cars. I like my car, but I understand that it is not it doesn't give me money, but it makes my life easier. Yes.
Convenience.
Yes. That one I know. But I know at the end of the day I have to remove money to pay for that convenience. But kama ni ya Uber, kama ni ya biashara, you transport things, yes, then that can be an asset.
And I think one of the things that we need to speak about is, the pathways, the paths to wealth. What are some of the paths that you can use to arrive at wealth? There has been many ways of people getting to wealth. Kuna watu ambao wanaenda, kila mtu ana barabara yake. Kabla sijaingilia sitaki kusema hizo njia ziko kwa sababu I'm not a wealth expert. I'm not a financial person. But what are some of the almost sure pathways to wealth that you can say you can start building wealth and remain consistent to it? Because you find that Kenyans are very good in jumping from one path to another. Unatoka hii, unafungua buchari, unachinja kondoo kidogo siku mbili, unaona mtu mwingine hapa amepita anauza nuts.
Hii bambi.
Unasema hii bambi ingine sasa ndio inabamba sasa ndio inabamba. So what are some of the pathways to wealth?
Number one thing when it comes to wealth creation is hard work.
Okay.
Barely will you see a lazy person who's wealthy. Barely. Hata wale wa kuachiwa. If they are lazy then inaendanga. So hard work, number one, is key. And then consistency is also key. Right? But something else that is key is education. So you need to educate yourself on some of these things that you can do to create wealth. Right? And when it comes to education, you need to educate yourself in matters how to manage the wealth that you have, or if you do not have, how to accumulate or how to get that wealth. Right? And tunaambiwa masomo ni msingi wa maisha. Right? And I can attest to that. It is my education that has gotten me to where I am today. And I know many others as well. But number one thing is hard work. So if you work hard, then you are on your way to wealth. Right? But then also in this day and age, we cannot only emphasize on working hard, but also emphasize on working smart. Yes. But if you accumulate assets, then these assets will be able to give you or fund your lifestyle. Now, how do you accumulate these assets? Number one, we said an asset is something that gives you money.
That puts money in your pocket.
Yes. So an asset can be an investment, first of all. Unaweza kuwa umewekeza pesa pahali, hii pesa inakuzalia. Investment, you can invest whatever, in the stock market, the bonds market, in the unit trust market. There, you can invest, and these investments can pay you. You can invest in property, you become a landlord, and you can be getting rent. You can invest in a business, and a business can be an asset, and this business can be paying you. But the thing that we need to do is we need to, first of all, we have defined what wealth is.
Yes.
Now you need to define what wealth is individually to yourself. What do you want to achieve, Gerald? What are your goals?
Mimi mwenyewe.
Wewe mwenyewe unataka nini? Lakini usiangalie maisha ya mtu mwingine. Don't look at someone else's life and say I want to be like this person. It is okay for them to give you inspiration, yeah? But also you need to be your own person.
Define wealth in your own terms.
Yes, define wealth in your own terms, and then also see our definition, and then try and marry it, okay? And see how you can get to that position. Now, accumulation of assets is very key. And we talked about assets like a business being an asset, but not all businesses are assets, because there are businesses that are losing money. So you need to run a profitable business, number one. Biashara ikuwe ni a profit. If it is not making sense, if it's not making profits, then at that point you might consider changing. Right? Yes. And then also we talked about investments. But when it comes to wealth, there are principles that accompany wealth. Okay? We call them the principles to wealth creation. So number one thing is always key, and everyone in finance will tell you this, that you need to pay yourself first, regardless of where you are at in life.
Pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first, regardless of where you are at in life. Especially if you are employed, if you are in business, even that guy in campus, huyo jamaa kwa kampo anapata pocket money, allowance. Pay yourself first. And paying yourself first means whenever you get money from whichever source, as long as it is legal, yes, pay yourself first by saving and investing. Ukianzia hapo, then you'll be good. So each time you get money, ukilipwa mshahara hivi, put some aside for saving. Yes.
Okay.
You'll be good to go.
So you talk about hard work and working smart, because leo kuna msemo mwingine anasema hata punda mfanya bidii.
Punda hajasoma lakini akosi kazi. Lakini hiyo kazi yake inamlipa aje, unaona?
So when it comes to working hard and working smart, I mean, how would you, where would be the lines? And also working smart also can be defined in many ways. Hata kunyorosha serikali mtu atasema is working smart, ama kunyorosha mtu
working smart, but also remember
and also is it possible to work hard at the wrong thing? No, you're going to fanya bidii kumbe
unaweza fanya bidii na kitu ambayo haileti bidii, lakini unatia bidii lakini hiyo kitu haileti bidii. But first of all, I said work smart, but on the right side of the law. Wacha tuanzie hapo work smart, but on the right side of the law. Usikue mulot boys or but just on the right side of the law, utakuwa uko sawa. Okay? Yeah. Because vijana wana take advantage of this working smart, which again it's not good in the long run. It's not sustainable, right? So work smart in the right side of the law, na utakuwa sawa. Now, working hard and working smart, they go hand in hand, because there are ventures that you can get into na unaona hapa hata nikitia bidii namna gani hakuna kazi nafanya. So you also need to, especially if you're in business, lazima ukae chini uone, what am I selling? What service am I providing? Is there a market for it? Yes. Is there a demand for it? Instead of me working hard, waking up in the morning, opening my shop, na hizi vitu hazisongi bana.
So let me ask you now, when it comes to working hard, like I had asked, I mean, you could be working hard, but working hard at the wrong thing. Sometimes you get to know it. We talk about persistence, doing the same thing all the time until it makes sense. But then again, what are some of the telltale signs that you can look at an investment or an economic activity and you can make a judgment that this is not the best thing to do and you jump out of it? Because not everything that you do makes you money.
Yes.
Honest. You can be doing something.
Number one, I said it's demand. Hiyo kitu unafanya watu wanataka. And not just demand for now, demand in the future also. Right? Will it be needed 5 years, 10 years down the line? Okay? is the demand for that good you're selling or for that service you're providing growing? Okay, and then also you need to, especially if you're in business, look at your market. Who are you targeting? Are you targeting low class, middle class, high income? Yes, right. So lazima, and then this market, is it growing? Is it expanding? Those are the fundamentals that you need to look at. But then also, we say in business, you also need to have a bit of passion, because you can be in the right business, selling the right thing that is marketable, that has demand, but you don't have passion for it. So hata vitu zikienda segemnege kidogo, unasema hiyo ikae, bambi. You jump on to the next one. So if you are passionate enough, you will be persistent. And if you're persistent enough, and all these things are together, there's demand, there's a market for it, and you're passionate about it, then I believe you are on your way to making it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there's been a conversation, of course, all the time when people talk about wealth creation and assuring that you can be rich. People often look at people who are doing business or people who are self-employed and they're doing things on the side. And you find that many times we bash people who do 8 to 5, and we keep telling them that you cannot make wealth from 8 to 5. Now, how do we switch that narrative? Because I know a lot of times when we talk about making money, people think about, you have to be doing business, you have to be self-employed and all that. And most of the time we tell these 8 to 5 people, no, you cannot build wealth on a salary. What do we? Is that viable?
Let me tell you something. No. You can build wealth on a salary. I am on a salary and I am building wealth as we are sitting here. Right? Hey, now, all these things we hear about, you have to be in business, you have to be self-employed to make wealth. I know people who have been employed all their lives, and these people are wealthy. Yes. Right? I also know other people who have been in business and they're also wealthy. But what is happening nowadays is watu hawana your patience. Watu, especially in the era that we are living, social media, watu wa biashara wanaonekana ni kama hao ndio wako sawa, because they seem to be free most of the time. Unaona mtu, wewe umeamka asubuhi, me I was up at 5 to make it here by 7. But kama ni mtu wako biashara, unaona huyo mtu, mimi naenda kufungua duka yangu 8. You don't have an interview, so kibanda yangu utafungua 8 ama shop yangu utafungua 8. So watu wako na kuna kale ka freedom when I'm self-employed. I am my own boss.
Leo maboyaka usikijisikie kwenda.
Leo I am my own boss. Hakuna mtu, at the end of the day hakuna mtu ananiuliza. So again, if you're in business and if you don't have discipline, then it might be hard. And then also something else that people do not realize is that before a business pays you as you would have been paid in employment, it takes a lot. First of all, that business that you are running yourself, for it to pay you, remember, first of all, it needs to have paid taxes, it needs to have paid expenses of the business, it needs to have paid rent. Kama kuna duka pahali, lazima ikuwe imelipa stima, lazima ukuwe umenunua stock, lazima ukuwe umelipa licenses, lazima ukuwe umelipa KRA. Alafu ndio wewe mwenyewe ukuje ujilipe. So actually in a business, the person who gets paid last is the business owner. Right? So again, do you want to be in that place where you're paid last? But when you're in employment, employees wanalipangwa almost at the same time as everyone else. Payroll ikipigwa inafanyangwa, lipa huyu, lipa suppliers, lipa employees. But in a business, you will have to now be thinking of paying these other people. Right? And by the time you are able to pay all those other people and also pay yourself a salary as an employee of the business, even if the business is yours, then that will take time. It will take a lot of time. So this notion that you only have to be in business to be wealthy, it's not so true. Because again, I say, for a business to be able to pay itself, to be able to run itself and then pay you, then it will take time. So how do people make money in business? Number one way you make money in business is, first of all, you need to pay yourself a salary. And that salary is not the profit that you are getting. Right? Because nitaenda ninunue laptop hapa, 100,000 niuze 150,000. Hiyo 50,000 niseme sasa niko sawa, nimefanya busy leo mtu wangu. But not forgetting you need to buy another laptop. You need to probably now start thinking of how can I get even 2-3 more laptops to sell. How can I think of now expanding this business? Ndio nifungue kaduka pahali ama hata nifanye online, nipige picha, nizipost, nizipromote, all these things. But unaona nimemake sale na niko sawa. No, it doesn't just happen like that. So business is good, but it takes time, it takes hard work, it takes dedication. And then also when I would like to encourage the young people out there who are listening to this show. When you see other people out there wako biashara and they seem to be making it, there should be a backstory. And ukiona vielea vimeundwa, right? So especially when you see someone has come up haraka hivyo, unashanga jamaa ameanza biz juzi na shakafunga. Question a bit, because wealth creation takes time. And you can attest to this. It takes time. Wale watu wa kuja pata
even ndio inaendanga pia. There's a very timely question here from Larry Kimonori. Jamaa wangu anakuanga anajenganga manyumba huko. And so good morning Gerald Bitok, tuned in from Eldoret. Ask Mike whether we can be wealthy without being liquid at the same time, and how can we solve the same with this economy?
Wealthy and liquid
Well, being wealthy, and let me read again.
Yes.
Good morning, Gerald Bitok, tuned in from Eldoret. Ask Mike whether we can be wealthy without being liquid at the same time. And how can we solve the same with this economy?
Hard kidogo. Because remember I said that wealth is the ability to live that lifestyle that you desire without having to work for it. So you have to have liquid. You have to be liquid so that you are able to meet your day-to-day needs. Okay. And here's the thing about people who are perceived to be wealthy, because and you say your friend is in property.
Yes.
Unapata mtu akona mashamba kila pahali, maploti huku, big tracts of land, but they are unable to meet their day-to-day needs. Right? This person, when it comes to when unfortunately they get ill, wanaanza kufungua WhatsApp group. But these people are perceived to be wealthy, but they're not able to meet that day-to-day need. And so that's why it is a hard line between being wealthy and being liquid. So it is good that you have liquid cash, liquid money to help you out on your day-to-day needs, and especially to help you out in terms of emergencies. Yes, because emergency ikikuja, that liquid cash is what will help you out. Those assets that you have that are not really giving you money, you will have to probably liquidate at a very low rate. Yes, because you will be desperate at that time. But if you have liquid cash to help you sort your day-to-day needs, even for an emergency, and you also have the assets there, then you're good to go. So I tell your friend to have a mixture of both.
Yes. So proper wealth is having assets and also having liquidity.
Yes.
Ukitaki pesa liquid unauza kitu.
Hapana. Kama hiyo kitu hauko uuze, then you see, utauza at a very low rate. And then you will be pressed to sell it. Right? So utaanza you'll be a distressed seller, not a willing buyer, willing seller. Utakuwa distressed because you're desperate at that moment. Probably to
willing buyer and willing seller.
Unwilling seller. The guy who will be buying atakuwa amefurahia. Hata ataona venye atakufinyilia kusukume kidogo juu anajua you are desperate. Right?
So proper wealth is a blend of assets and liquidity. Moses Kegitao, Robert Kiyosaki defines asset as things that bring money to you.
Yes.
And liabilities are things that take money from you.
Correct.
Wealthy people invest in assets and poor people invest in liabilities that look like assets.
Correct. Now, these assets like liabilities that look like assets could are what we call flossets at Centonomy. So ni kama hiyo gari unasema, si ndio? Unanunua gari unasema niko sawa. It makes you look good, right? But it is taking money out of you. One other thing that we say might also be a liability or a faucet. Sorry, not a liability, a faucet is the house that you live in. Yes, it is my dream to own a home one day. But I am aware, I am cognizant that the fact that I have that home and that I am living in it, it is not really an asset because it is not giving me money directly. Yes, even as the definition from Robert Kiyosaki. Now, not unless I put it out for rent, ama niuze, then it will be an asset. But if I am living in it, I am having to take care of it, kumaintain, kupaka rangi, pale nimepanda kanyasi, lazima kuna mtu anapalilia nini. Lazima nilipe steamer bills nini. Then it is not really an asset. Yes.
Okay. And I remember actually had this argument. It was actually a very heated argument with Chage. Chage, wherever you are, just say Chage, I think the CEO for Unga Group. You know, one of our boys club meetings, you actually say that he can never buy a house.
Yeah.
He said he can never buy a house, he'll rent a house. Because he said buying a house is dead capital. It was a bad argument. It was actually a serious argument.
The thing about that argument is it becomes emotional. First of all, because of how we've been brought up. And
but then again, but talking about the guarantee of safety in terms of wealth, does it not make sense to have a home?
Again,
because
it depends on where you're coming from.
That was a serious argument.
Yeah, it depends on where you're coming from and where you're going and also what your goals are. Okay. So if your goals, like your friend, his goal, amejua, I will rent. Yeah. And you see, the good thing about rent is if you're able to afford, then you can live where you want to live. Hii kikubo ukisema hii bambi, you move to the next. You move to the next apartment, you move to the next.
Lakini nyumba yako ikiacha kubamba hivyo ndio unakwama.
Sasa before you sell it before you use wife ako pale, hapana mimi naipenda, watoto wako pale wako washakuwa na friends in the neighborhood, wewe hapo. You get the point. But then also if you are in that position, it can also give you a sense of security that hata kukiumana aje mimi nitaenda
kwa time ya COVID bana. That was one of the great things.
Yes. But the thing about it is if you're able to maintain the lifestyle that you desire without having to work for it, then you'll be good. Sasa ukiwasema mambo ya COVID, you know not everyone was affected. There are guys who had saved for emergencies. Kuna watu walikuwa na emergency fund. Even probably a friend who's renting, probably alikuwa na rent ya 2 years. Niko tu hapo tu yeye anajua. Hata kama kazi haifanyi ni biashara, niko na rent yangu ya 2 years. Right? So we advise that you have that money to take care of you when things go wrong. In financial terms we call it an emergency fund. Lazima ukuwe na kitu umejiwekea. Vitu zikienda mrama, you have something to fall back on. And we advise that you should have an emergency fund, kitu ya 6 months of your expenses ready, right? Liquid, that you can easily access it. Yes, that even if you lose your job, God forbid, if business is not doing so well, uko na pahali kitu umejiwekea that you can fall back on. Yes, this is called an emergency fund.
I'd also like to know what you guys think about it, the audience that have here with us. What do you think about buying a home? Is buying a home another way of having idle capital? But that was a very serious argument. We had
that can be serious
almost all night. And you're saying, why would you put maybe probably 50 million? Why would you keep 50 million lying in a property? That the money that you're not utilizing at that point, when you can utilize that money to do something else.
And then also you see that 50 million, ukisema uko nayo na utalipa rent, utakuwa uko sawa tu bado. Right? Yeah. Okay. But also again, the issue of debt capital it's there because there's a lot you can do with 50 million to make you more. Right? But again, with the house, not unless you sell it or you rent it out,
you cannot get much from it. All right, Andrew yourself tuned in kama from Nakuru manze, inabidi ni change my $5 mapema is the best. They are just pushing to 85 from initially 125. Good to see Andrew yourself. Good morning. Moses K Kitao is saying the pathway to wealth begins with information. Financial literacy is the backbone of true wealth. Okay, comparison is the thief of joy. Be content with what you have as you pursue what you want. Moses K, pay yourself fast. If possible, automate your savings to the designed account. Money generally refuses to be saved after you have begun spending. Save fast before anything. By the way, kama thou Sijawahi ona mtu amevunja dhao akabakisha. Ukishavunja dhao utoa shilingi.
Ni hivyo. Now,
dhao utoa shilingi tu hivi.
I would like to add a comment to your comment umesema automate it.
Yes.
Yes. Please automate your savings. Just like the government does. You see, you know what the government does with our taxes, us who are employed. Before I get my money, the government already has taken its share. Right? If the government was waiting for us to pay it, kidogo ingekuwa hard. So kuwa kama gava pia wewe, cheza kama wewe. Automate your savings by having a standing order. Kama uko na mshahara pale, unaingia kwa hii account, enter your account, open another account. And by the way, something to do with accounts, have at least two bank accounts. You cannot save and invest with the same account that you are doing your day-to-day business. Ile pesa una swipe nayo bado ndio hiyo account una save. Hapana. Right? So have a standing order. A standing order is just an instruction that you've given to your bank. Pesa ikiingia hivi, start hata kuiona, ipeleke pale. So that I don't even have sioni. Right? It's called a standing order. And it works. It will work for you. Especially if you are employed. I would urge that you do that. Have a standing order. Hiyo ikiingia, pesa ikiingia kwa salo, kuna pahali inaenda kwa savings ama kwa unit trust ama kwa whichever place you want to take it. Yes.
Okay.
So automate it.
Alright. Haya, jilipe kwanza. Now, even as we're talking about kujilipa kwanza, people are doing business. A lot of people actually doing business, they believe that profit ni ya kukula. Like a profit kakiingia TV kwanza, ambia mwili pole.
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
Nyama choma, alafu rudi tena sokoni.
Profit belongs to the business, not to you, the business owner. What belongs to you, the business owner, is you should be able to pay yourself a salary as the business owner. We advise that you, the business owner, should be an employee of that business, so that ukilipa watu wengine pia wewe unajilipa. So that now the profits are what are going to make the company grow, to expand the company, to expand its operations, to do all these other things. Lakini profit sio pesa ya kukula. Kujiambia pole, hapana. Pay yourself a salary as a business owner.
Okay.
Right.
Alright. Musoni saying here, on the current debate, having a house is not that much of a problem. Is what is the cost? What cost do you acquire the house at? If you buy or build your home at a more or less the cost of renting, that makes sense. But if you get 150,000 Kenya shillings mortgage for a house that you can rent at 45,000 Kenya shillings, it's a floss set. Like Mike is calling it. Is that true?
That's true. And we advise this. If you're in a position to get a mortgage, congratulations first of all, because sio wenye unapatanga mortgage. But if you're in a position to get a mortgage, we advise that you do not take the mortgage that you qualify for. You go a bit lower. You take a much less mortgage. Right? And your mortgage utachukua, don't live in that house. You rent that house. And that money that you're using to get the rent, you can also plow it back in to pay your mortgage. Alafu, you see now we've taken a mortgage less than what you can actually qualify for. So that means that you will pay this mortgage in less time. So it will take you less time to clear the mortgage. So clear the mortgage as quickly as possible. If you clear it, then that house becomes yours. Yes. Okay. And now you can now take another mortgage for another house. Okay. Yes.
So if you want to take a mortgage and rent the house.
First of all, if you can get a mortgage, congratulations. Kongole. Sio wengi wanapatanga mortgage. Hata ukiangalia statistics. So if you can get, congratulations. And if you can get a mortgage for this house, maybe it's a bit bigger, get one which is a bit smaller. And don't live in that house. Rent it out. Add on to your mortgage payments so that you finish your mortgage quicker. Okay. Right? If you finish your mortgage quicker, hiyo nyumba itakuwa ni yako sasa. And then get another mortgage.
So usichukue mortgage na kuishi hapo ndani.
Well, again, hii mambo ya nyumba inakuanga emotional sana.
So tusiingilia
but you can try. But my advice personally as mimi, umeniita hapa nipatie advice yangu mimi mwenyewe. Take one that is
take
one that is lower than what you can actually afford. so that you pay it quickly and don't live in it. So that you pay it quickly, it becomes yours. Yes.
All right. Alan Koko, good morning. Gerald at Bomet TCB, located near Core Bank, opposite Lens Electronics, Alan Kipchaba Street. All right. Sportswear shop and all clothes available. Wewe ulisema ulikuwa unasema utakuja. Nitakuja. Nitapitia. I'll be around. This coming weekend or next weekend I'll be around that route. Hiyo nitakuwa natembea hapo. Nitapitia hapo. Unipe kazawadi. Moses Guitar, working smart and cutting corners are two different things. Majority of people are being the latter, cutting corners. Hata kufile zero returns is cutting corners. Moses Guitar financial quadrant. Employee, E for employee, S for self-employed, B for business owner, I for investor. We need to study and understand this. Can you help us break this down?
Yes, so employee, financial quadrant, employee wewe umeandikwa kazi, right? Self-employed umejiandika, and that is where, so hapo kwa self-employed na business owner can be two different things. Because if you're self-employed, that means that you have wewe umejiandika kwa biashara yako. If you're a business owner, then it can be that you have a business that you have employed other people, that you yourself don't even work there. Okay. Right? If you're an investor, then that means that you have your money working for you elsewhere. So an investor can be a business owner, right? Because invest kwa biashara. Investor anaweza kuwa pia invest in other assets. Invest kwa shares, kwa property, invest kwa bonds, all these things, yeah? But for people like us, mimi ni employee at the moment. But I am working hard so that I can also become an investor, right? So that I have assets that will be paying me, and as also my employer is paying me. So we have always been told that you should increase your sources of income as much as possible. Yes. So your financial quadrant, if you're able to mix na ukwe in one or two squares, then you'll be good, so that you do not rely on one source of income. Yes.
All right. Mosenik Anzoni anasema, hello Gerald, I'm watching your show for the first time and I love it. Thank you so much. Makofi, karibu sana. There's a new tackler. Karibu sana, we have a new tackler. Mosenik Anzoni, karibisha. The whole tacklers who are in, kina Mosenik na Moses Gidao. Karibisheni, we have a new tackler. Mosenik, please ensure that, make that seat, like they say in church, make that seat your seat. All right. The tackle, please make sure that you're always there every single morning. The conversation comes to you every single morning from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. Every single morning, Monday to Friday. So ensure that you can join us again tomorrow as we have a conversation on the state of the nation. And also as we talk on Wednesday, we go to Diaspora Edition on Thursday, on Friday, Sharia Wiki. Ensure that you're always sticking with us. On Mondays, it's always the Common Sense Edition where we talk about life and money. All right, Moses Gideon anasema we have dormant assets. Gerald asante anasema it's like buying land and waiting for years to farm on it or build on it. Can Michael talk about it?
Yes, dormant assets, land that you're not utilizing. Well, not unless you remember when I started, I said you have to have goals, yeah? And these goals should be pushing you to where you should invest, yeah? So if you have land that you're not farming, first of all, why did you buy that land? If it is for speculation purposes, then it is good. Wacha ikaya. Kama ulinunua ka plot pale Kamulu 50 by 100, ukanunua 100,000 2 years ago, and your aim or your goal was to sell it 10 years down the line at 1 million, then that is good. Because at that moment when you are buying it to grow your capital by selling it at a higher price than you bought it. Your speculation, niyo mambo, yeah? But kama ulinunua bila kujua exactly what you want to do with this land, then it can be a dead asset, right? Especially if you have huge tracts of land that you're not doing anything with it. You're not farming there. Unajua, ujengi ploti, ya watu wa rent, wewe mwenyewe ujengi jumba yako, you're not doing anything, then that we can refer to that as dead capital.
Okay, all right. Hiyo mengia hapa tena, hiyo mpoteza comment zangu. Okay. Mutugi said fantastic conversation. Thank you so much, Mutugi. Good to see you. Moses Kino says buying a house limits your mobility, unlike renting. Somebody who rents can live anywhere in the world, unlike someone who has bought a house. Kwanza wakale venye saizi unakanga kidogo na mbona unaitwa Australia. Ni imagine uko na kanyumba kitambo uze itakuwa siku gani. Right, welcome to the home of knowledge. Asante sana, karibisheni Bosonic mwenyewe. Panda Mabati Factory anasema yes, anasema ameshare. Asante sana Panda Mabati Factory. What is you now? Now let's look at this. The practicality of building what? In the scenario that you are seeing post COVID-19, the ravages of COVID-19, the way the economy was doing. And now we're talking about drought, you're talking about bad economy, bad currency price and all that. What is the practicability of building wealth through very honest means? The big honest man like Gigi.
So, first of all,
how practical? What practical is it?
Let me say this. It is very practical and it is doable, first of all. What we now need to do is, again, invest in having financial knowledge on how you can go about it. And this knowledge starts here. If you're listening to me today, start by doing these things that we are talking about. Start by paying yourself first, right? So pay yourself first means saving and investing. Every time you get some money, put some for savings. Jieke kitu. Wasemanga haba na haba ujaza kibaba, right? And actually, there's a saying that goes this way, and it says, money talks, Gerald, and this is what it says. It says, save me today, I will save you tomorrow. Right? So, save for now, even for future, for emergencies, so that after COVID, kikuja wewe uko sawa. But then also invest. And then also number 2 thing that we need to do is we need to be aware of where our money is going. Don't just spend money anyhowly, right? Be aware, know where each and every single cent goes. In simple terms, I'm saying track your expenses, track your spending. So ukilipa mtu pale, andika pale nimelipa Gerald 50 bob, nilikuwa na deni yake. Ukilipa matatu, nimelipa matatu 70 bob, andika pale. Ukinunua lunch, I've bought lunch at 100 bob, write it down so that at the end of the day you are able to see all your expenses for that day. So tuliongea mambo ya thao, unatoka kwa nyumba asubuhi na thao, unarudi, of course haitakuwa thao.
Ukitoa shilingi hivi hata.
But sasa unajiuliza hii pesa ilienda wapi? So that you don't get to that position where you're asking yourself, you already know, you can see this is where my money went. Right? So it can be a very mundane exercise to do, writing down your expenses. Hata ukinunua sijui PK pale unaandika 5 bob. Again, it can be mundane, boring, unawashanga hii ni ya nini. Watu pia wakikuona na karatasi wanasema jamani nini anafanya. But there are things that it will do. First of all, it will show you where your money goes. It will show you your money habits. Because Gerald, trust me, you have money habits that you probably don't even know that you have. Kuna probably mtu akikubo unaendanga unanunua kitu na hujaijua. And unless you put it down and then you go and review. Like mimi personally, mtu akinibo mimi nilikuwa naenda na najifurahisha. Unajua
ana sherehe.
Ladies call it retail therapy. Hata kama sio sherehe. It could be a simple thing as buy me. I used to buy myself ice cream a lot. Ukinibo watch
and of all the habits of consolation you chose ice cream.
Because that ice cream would make me happy at that moment. But I didn't realize until niliona alafu unaona nilinunua ice cream jana. Jana nilifanyika jana. Kuna mtu alikuwa amenibo. Nikasema acha ni buy ice cream. So if you do that for a month, alafu one in that month you've bought yourself 5 ice creams. Unajua so that is why I buy ice cream a lot. So you could have some money habits. Probably wewe ni wale mtu wa tropical PK akikuja kwa matatu unanunua tu bila kwa sababu amekuja because uko na hiyo 10 bob. Right? But you don't know that you do that. Not unless you track it down, not unless uiandike chini. Wewe ni wale pale kwa stage ukienda home unanunua mahindi, unanunua smoky. Bila smoky wanasemanga one is never enough. If you buy a smoky unanunua 2, siku hizi sijui ni 30 ama 35 bob. Hiyo inakuwa 70 bob. Kesho pia unafanya the same thing. You see? But not unless you write it down and you see 70 bob kila siku. Me went a job 5 times. Hiyo ni 350. In a week spend on smoky. Na smoky unajua ishibishangi. To be honest, hata mimi napenda smoky. Nikautamu tu kwanza ukiweka pilipili.
But you're losing money.
But utaenda home tu bado na ukule. So again, inaweza kaa ni pesa kidogo, but the accumulation it builds up at the end of the month, especially at the end of the year. It builds up. Now, this is one exercise that we do at Centonomy. Ni ile ya 300 bob. Kuna watu wanunuanga lunch at 300. Na sio vibaya kununua lunch. But if you have an option of carrying packed lunch to the office, even better. So if you are spending 300 on lunch every day, at the end of the month, that is 9,000. At the end of the year, that is 108,000. That's why jiulize, would you rather spend 300 every day or have that 108,000 at the end in December? Watu wakiuliza tunaenda wapi, pia wewe unasema tunaenda hapa. Sio hiyo. Mimi niko tu unanyamaza, you know.
Ama bili kiletwa ndio unasema
bili kiletwa unaanza kutoa simu, ati wacha
room kidogo.
You see, because there are people who ikifika ni December, mtu ako Dubai, mtu ako Maldives, unashangaa huyu mtu anafanya nini? Mtu anabeba lunch. Hiyo pesa ya 300 every day anatumia kusave. Again, inaweza kaa ni pesa kidogo, but hiyo accumulation, and at the end of the year it becomes a lot of money. So that is why we need to track our expenses. Each and every cent, shilling that leaves out of your pocket, andika chini. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention is hii mambo ya digital imekuja na imesaidia sana. Lakini pia ikisaidia kidogo inaharibu. Hii mambo ya mobile wallets. We have our carriers.
Money at the click of a button.
Yes.
Ndio nimemaliza kabisa.
Hiyo inamalizia wewe peke yako, ni wengi. But I want to advise you and your viewers, your listeners, wherever you are, keep track of your mobile charges, especially zile za kutuma na kutoa. Keep track of that, and see how you can do it better. And then also, hii mambo ya digital, hii mambo ya kulink bank na mobile wallet,
unafinyanga tu nakatoa.
Hiyo watu wanataka kuvuta, asiwache usivute tu pale kwa bank, weke hapa kwa simu. You get. So, I'd advise first of all, you remember I said that you need to pay yourself first by saving and investing.
And have 2 accounts.
And have 2 accounts. Your savings account, first of all, do not link it to your mobile wallet. Usi link. So that I always say, make it hard for you to access money in your saving, money that you're saving. Make it hard to access it. Not impossible, hard. So don't link it to your mobile wallet. Don't get an ATM card for it. If you need to get that money, enda kwa bank and line up. Yes.
Usikie uchungu.
Usikie uchungu.
Na pia useme uende bank.
Ni sawa tu. Wacha ningoje. Because if you link it hapa ni kutoa tu, mko pale sherehe, kidogo pesa imeisha, unakumbuka, niko na kitu kwa ile account nyingine, so wacha nivute. So that is one thing I'd like your viewers to take care of and be keen about it, so that you make it hard for you to access money in your money that you're saving. And then also, I said pay yourself first by saving and investing. But Gerald, the truth is, you're saving in as a bow. Because first of all, if you don't have something that you're saving for, it can be boring. So we advise that you save for a goal, save for a reason, save for a purpose. Save to buy a phone, save to buy a car, save to go to Mombasa.
So that have a goal tied to your saving.
Yes. So
that motivates you.
Yes, it motivates you, and you know exactly how much you need to save. Because people ask, now, what percentage of my salary do I save? Save for what you want to do, what you want to achieve. If I'm saving for my phone and if I'm saving for a car, hizo savings is different.
Yeah.
So if I'm saving for a car, then I'll definitely save more. Right? If I'm saving for a phone, si mingi sana. So that your goal should be able to tell you how much to save, and also the timeline. So, and it will also motivate you. So I'm saving to buy a car in the next 2 years. So you see, that motivates you. Yes. But if you're just saving because Mike said save, utafika pale uboeke. Lakini ukiangalia tu, I am about to achieve my target. By
that motivates you.
Yes, that motivates you.
Right. There's something that you talked about, habits, building financial habits, and I think a lot of people actually struggle with that. That you don't have any guiding financial discipline that you can wake up actually and spend money. I think a lot of us fall in that category. The current, the recurrent spenders, where you don't, as long as you have money, you don't have an issue spending it. Maybe going somewhere on a weekend, buying good whiskey, or not struggling to dish out money to buy food, do this crazy thing that you think are small expenditures. But then again, they build up to something big.
Yes.
I think a lot of Kenyans actually struggle with that financial discipline, that just because you have money, you should actually spend it. You know, money is for spending. Sasa pesa ni ya kula pesa ikutambue.
Tumia pesa
ikuzoee. How do you manage? What is the appropriate financial discipline? How can we? What is that character that we can actually define and say this is a proper financial character or discipline?
So wacha tuanze tuna discipline on.
Mimi mwenyewe banane wenyewe pesa iko kwa mfuko. Siwezi tulia.
Let's start here.
I even sleep for less hours.
I know pesa hata watu pesa ina damu inachemkanga.
Yaani I sleep for less hours ndio nikuwa na enough time ya kula pesa.
Damu inachemkanga watu wakipata pesa. So let's even start with discipline. Not only financial discipline but discipline in general. So Gerald, what is the first thing that you do when you wake up?
What I do when I wake up? Honestly, when I wake up, I pray.
Yes.
Second praying, I look at the things happening.
Yeah.
Across the world. Maybe I go to Twitter, I see what is recent, what's happening. What else? Then maybe when I get to the office, maybe read a page or two on something I'm reading on.
You see,
but kupanga naye, that is the major idea.
So you see, the first thing you do when you wake up is pray.
Yes.
Good. You see, kuna hiyo discipline, consistency.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a reason why you do that. Like for me, I'd say this for myself. I pray and then I make my bed. You see, each and every day, regardless of what is happening, regardless of where I was last night, regardless of what is happening today, I will have to wake up, pray and make my bed. Discipline inaanzianga hapo. Right?
Okay.
So that nikienda najua siku yangu iko mzuri, ni I've dedicated it to God, I'm good. Nikirudi jioni nitapata pahali pa kulala vizuri. You see? Discipline inaanzianga hapo.
Okay.
Wewe kama unamkanga tu kama kama umeenda, then you see hata financial discipline kidogo itakuwa ngumu. Right? And that is why guys in the army wanakuanga wako sawa, because
wakitanda ni tricky kidogo.
Sasa unaona. But it is discipline. You see, and that's why I applaud guys in the army. Watu wa army wanakuanga na discipline. Wakiamka lazima kuna kitu wanafanya. Una drill. There's a routine. And that works. And it helps in building that discipline. So discipline starts there. Right? First of all, these small habits, these small things that you do, what are they? And then you see how are they going to add up to help you in future. So the same happens when it comes to financial discipline, right? And if it is hard for you to have financial discipline, start by having that standing order that we're talking about, so that pesa ikiingia tu hivi kwa account, wewe hata huioni, imetumwa kwa savings ama kwa unit trusts pale, money market fund or somewhere, right? So that even if you're spending this, hii ingine wewe endelea tu kuspend, lakini you have saved already. Right? Yes. So start there. Discipline itaanzia hapo. If you are hard, kama wewe mwenyewe unajua sitaweza, patia bank hiyo kazi by putting a standing order.
So put money away.
Yes. Bank, mimi najijua sijiwezi.
Sina nguvu, sina uwezo.
Sina uwezo.
Taswaga.
Nataka munisaidie.
Serikali saidia.
Niko na shida na mimi nimejiletea. So, again, it is very good to know yourself. Especially in life. Lazima ujijue wewe mwenyewe. And if you know yourself that you're not disciplined, know yourself and accept yourself and do the necessary. Take the necessary measures. Take a standing order. Pesa ikiingia, wewe usha save yako. Hata ukipiga sherehe ni sawa. Yes, because you have something that you save.
So weka budget yako ya sherehe kando. Na usipitisha hapo.
Again, here's the thing. Mimi sisemi
budget yako ikiisha okoka.
Mimi sisemi usipige sherehe, by the way. I'm not saying that you be dull, that you don't do anything, right? Because you need to live a wholesome life. Lazima ufanye kazi, lazima ukue na familia, lazima ukue na marafiki. For you to be a normal human being, lazima pia relax. Yes, you need to have hobbies, engage with, be social, to live a wholesome life. So same watu wasipige sherehe, but piga sherehe moderately. Piga sherehe after umefanya the necessary. You've saved, you've invested, you've paid rent, umeweka ya nyumba nini. umelipa madeni, sasa piga sherehe. Yes, sisemi watu wasipige sherehe.
Piga hesabu yako. Kabla upige sherehe, piga hesabu.
And now also budget, plan for your money. So we say that you need to plan for your money or someone else will plan for your money. Okay. Unaweza kuwa na pesa na unashangaa ufanye nini na hii pesa. Una plan, una mpango, lakini ukipigiwa tu simu, Gerald si utokee hapa.
Inatokea mbio sana.
Inatokea kwa sababu uko na mpango. Na hata hiyo pesa huko umepanga. Lakini ukipanga pesa yako, unasema hapana, hii pesa ni ya hii.
Sina hiyo kutana.
Ama hata ikifika ni 15th, si tulikuwa na wewe juzi 7th. Hiyo wacha tupatane next month. You get?
Okay.
Yeah, so plan for your money or else other people will plan for your money and it will not go well.
Okay. Leonard Serem, all the way, my brother from Australia. Thank you so much for tuning in. Morning, Gerald. Thanks for the great discussion. We need more of saving culture in our people. Hapa niko piga sherehe tu. Okay. Let's get what is your money blueprint? What do you think when the topic of money is mentioned? Others think money is evil. Others think money is good. We act consistently with our thoughts. So we need to understand ourselves around this topic. Wow. Okay. And I think that's something.
Money is not evil. Even the good book says it is the love of money that is the root of all evil. So money.
But even like with Ecclesiastes actually says the wisdom of a poor man is despised in the city. And that, by everything, just make money. You need money.
Yeah. Yes. So money is not evil. It is the love of money that is the root of
if you are a wise man and you're poor, nobody listens.
No.
But if you are rich fool, people listen.
Yeah, actually, that is true, my friend. I can tell you, kama huna kitu watu wakusikizangi. Hata kama even if you have a wealth of knowledge, lakini unakaa tu hivi mbona tukusikie.
Kama ungekuwa mwerevu ungekuwa na pesa.
Ungekuwa unakaa hata vizuri watu. Ungekuwa so that we listen to you. Yes.
Right, what's good? Financial discipline is built when you understand yourself around this topic, especially when your personality. Are you a spender or a saver? By the way. I think that's the first defining point. I would say I'm a spender, honestly.
So
first before
the thing is Lord. Gerald, and thank you for that. Your comment. We are all spenders because why are we saving? Why are we investing? At the end of the day, it is to spend this money, right? Hata useme ni hii pesa unaweka.
But you see now there's a thing when money comes.
Yes.
Saizi mtu akikuja hapa sasa nilima na maybe 1 million. Ama nilima na nilima mimi nipe 1 million na kupe 1 million. What are some of those first decisions that you make? The first instinct that comes into your head is, are you going to think about spending the money or are you going to think about saving that money? I think you are the person that you are is the first thing that happens to you when you see money. And actually ile emotion ya kwanza. Mimi kwanza nikiona hivi kwanza nafikiria ilikuwa ninunue kitu ama niende mahali. Naanza na hapa kwanza. Then I'm like, okay.
So I think Gerald, number one thing that we need to do is to have goals. What do you want? Ni nini unataka kuachieve sana? Because if you have goals and I put one money right here on the table saizi, then those goals will now direct you to where to. But kama wewe unakaa tu hivi tu, unangoja tu, like a flag waiting for the wind to blow that you go to whichever direction, then hapo kuna shida. But if you have goals, Gerald, then utakuwa uko sawa. So number one thing I tell people is to have goals. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve in this life? Ukiwa na hizo goals, then utakuwa sawa. Lakini if you have nothing to do, nothing to aspire for, unajua, then when money comes, then you will also be confused. Mimi saizi ukinipatia 1 million, my friend, nitatoka kwa madeni zenye niko nazo first of all. You get? Yes.
Lakini ni spending.
Sindio, but yes, lakini
kuna mtu tu akigongwa hivi na 1 million, anakimbia tu sako.
Kwa sababu hiyo ndio goal yake.
Okay.
Right? For me, it would be, to get out of debt. If I am in debt, get out of that debt. Right? If kama ni investment, nipige hiyo investment. Yes. Kama ni biashara, niongeze kwa biashara. You get? So you need to have goals. So that also money, pesa kidogo ikikuja isikusumbue, isikuchanganye. So tunasemanga pia prepare for this money, right? Kila siku unafikiria ni kama uko na pesa, ndio ile siku utapata
you know where it's going.
Yeah, you know where it's going.
Moses by the way kuna watu pesa inawaua. Kuna watu wengine hata kwa sababu there are things that God cannot do for you because anaona anaweza kukuua. Kuna mtu sasa ukimpea milioni 1 atakufa. Hata hizi fika hata Wednesday. kimpeka milioni moja saizi anafikiri kwanza apige sheria lalo mtaro amke siku nyingine ama ashtuke na atuache aende Zayun. Moses Gita, budgeting is a tool everyone can utilize to track their expenses, but most people underrate its importance. A budget tells you money your money where to go.
Yes.
Instead of wondering where your money went. Unaona sema
a budget helps you plan for your money and kama kuna budget
Christmas. Unaona wana statement ya M-Pesa na uliza sasa hii ilikuwa ya siku gani? Hii
ni
15,000 ni nani alitumia? 15,000 ya 2 am. Ni nani alilipa hii?
Hizo before 6 am hizo.
Najiuliza hii ilienda ngapi? I don't get it. Ama ulikuwa na pesa unashindwa hii pesa ilienda aje?
Again, that's why I say track your spending. So usijiulize unajua, lakini one thing I am thankful for is this digital era. Kuna history ya transaction.
History inauma.
Utaona
ukumbuke ukitumia lakini unaona
history ya transaction itakuonesha pale. Statement itakuonesha pale.
A painful history but machozi tu. Machozi.
So I also want to say that if you've been there then you know, right? You have experienced it. So because you have experienced, now you can plan better.
But the problem with that remorse feeling, it only lasts until there is another bad comes in.
So that's why you're talking about discipline in the first place. You get?
Yeah. Because unaangalia is just a remorse feeling because hayo umesota.
Lakini
kapesa kakiingia tena.
Lakini tukipata discipline unajua hii pesa ni ya nini. And then also I need people to start looking at the big picture. What are you saving for? Unajua? You know, so that
have a motivation, something you're going for.
Hiyo kenye una save unajua pia hiyo pesa tunasema inakupatia instant gratification. Which is what each generation need to we live on. We are called the microwave generation. Pap. Chakula imeiva.
Iko
tayari wewe. Fast food. Unaingia pale drive through umepata chakula yako. Fast food. Dakika 5 ushapata chakula, right? We're in that generation and hii mambo ya instant gratification itakuja kutumaliza, especially in finances. So have what we call delayed gratification. Save for a purpose, for a reason. Right? So that hata ukienda hiyo Mombasa utakuwa unasema, hii pesa I have really earned this trip to Mombasa.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Saving with a goal is with saving a goal in mind, not as a way to get rich. Time value of money is greatly affected by inflation.
Yes. So that's a very, very wise viewer. Kwanza hapo time value of money na inflation is key. Because money, $1 today is not $1 tomorrow. A shilling today is not a shilling tomorrow. A shilling today is stronger, is better, because you can do more with it today than you can do with it tomorrow. Kama tu tao kitambo na tao leo. Si ndio? Tao ya kitambo ulikuwa unaona kwa sawa. Tao siku hizi as we said, unaingia supermarket unanunua vitu 2-3. Right? So inflation will always be there. So for us to beat this thing we are calling inflation, saving might not really work. So what we now need to do is invest. Right? So there's a difference between saving and investing. Saving unaweka pesa, and saving we call it capital preservation, where I'm putting 1,000 today, tomorrow it is 1,000. Next week it is 1,000. Next month it is 1,000. Next day it is still 1,000. You see, bado hiyo nimesave, ni kusave. But when it comes to investing, it is where now this money is able to earn, is able to grow. Right? That's why I said pay yourself first by saving and investing. So it doesn't just stop at saving. Continue with investing. So when it comes to investing, there are 3 goals that should be pushing you to where you need to invest. Number 1 is capital preservation. Number 2 is income. Number 3 is capital growth. So capital preservation hiyo tumesema saving. And we've seen why you need to save. So you need to save for your day-to-day expenses, capital preservation for chakula yenye utakula kesho. Unajua, hiyo si pesa ya kuinvest. Rent, hiyo si pesa ya kuinvest. Si ndio? Sababu investments zingine zinaendanga zinakunywa maji. But hii pesa ya chakula, you need it to be there tomorrow for you to be able to eat. Si ndio? So that's why we need capital preservation. Right? Niko na 1,000 leo, hii 1,000 nitakula leo, kesho. Unajua, nitalipa rent. Good. Capital preservation. Other than that, we need also to get income and we need also our capital to grow. Now this is where savings will come in. especially because of inflation, because the prices of goods and services will continue increasing. Hata tukiambiwa gas itashuka lakini rent itapanda. Unaona?
Kuna kitu
tukatapanda tu. Right? So we need to beat inflation by investing. So one thing that we always need to do, you remember we started with numbers.
Yes.
Na ukasema numbers kidogo
ili nipiga chenga.
Lakini numbers ni muhimu and they never lie. So we need to be aware of the rate of inflation today in the country. If I'm not wrong, it should be between 6 and 7%. Yes. So that means that we need to put, if you're investing, we need to put our money where it is getting at least 7% and above rate of return. And that is investing. Yes. So that inflation, tunaipiga inflation.
So you cannot just save money carelessly. You have to invest in somewhere that you think it's earning you more than the inflation
Yes.
rate. Okay.
You need to put your money where it is earning you more than the inflation rate.
Okay.
Right?
80% of money problems is poor habits. Okay. Moses Gitawa wanasema the best business ideas come from broke people.
Unakuwa na ideas wewe.
Sorry, Gerald Bitok, this is an awesome topic. We need more of this. Yes, every single Monday the Common Sense edition comes to you. We talk about life and money. Talk about things that affect your life and money. Right. Now, you've talked about, of course, this every time there's surplus money. And the almost automatic conveyor thought or conveyor thinking is savings. You know, when you have a surplus income, the first thing you think, let me go and put it somewhere. There's also the other opportunity of investing. You know, aggressive investing of money that you get from surplus as a wealth creation tool. What should one go for? If you have a surplus income, should you save the money somewhere for a rainy day, or there are projects or there are spaces? Are there investment opportunities or options that are available that you can actually invest your surplus instead of putting it somewhere savings?
Yes. So again, goals.
And again, save.
You need to have goals. You need to have goals first of all. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? So that these goals are now directing where you need to put your money. So I said number one, you need to save, and we are saving for a purpose, for a reason. We are saving for a rainy day, for an emergency. We are saving for rent for next month. All right. We are saving for food for next week. But then also we need to invest. Right. So hii mambo ya investing and where to put our money, mzungu anatuambianga don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay. Right? If you are financially savvy, we tell you diversify your portfolio. Right? So remember I talked about capital preservation, income and capital growth. I would advise that we have our money in all these three options. Okay? So have your money kidogo kwa capital preservation. Have your money kidogo in an investment that gives you income, and have your money kidogo where it's going to grow. Yes. So have a good balance. That's what I'd advise.
Split your money.
Diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So that kikiumana huku iko sawa.
Kuna rescue plan.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Ruth is asking, make me understand about SACCO. Ni savings ama investment?
Now, it depends on how you're looking at it. So, tukiangalia SACCO, why did you get into that SACCO, Ruth? Tukiangalia, even the simple definition ama SACCO ni savings. Unaona? Number one inaanza, SACCO stands for Savings and Credit Cooperative Society. Yes. Right? So, number one thing is saving. And number two thing is credit. So you get into a SACCO first of all to be able to save, and then through these savings you are able to access credit, or you are able to get a loan. All right? So hiyo ndo number one reason why you should get into a SACCO. Savings so that you're able to access credit. All right? Now, SACCOs can also be a good investment because zinasaidia watu kupata dividends. Watu wanapata some good dividends at the end of the year. Right? So, but remember, number one reason why you should be getting into a SACCO is to, first of all, to save, to be able to access credit. Right? And the good thing about SACCOs is they don't really ask you for a lot of security or title deed or logbook. They might ask you for guarantors. Right? Yes. and then or you might be required to save at least 3, borrow 3 times your savings or something like that. But usiingie kwa sako tu kwa sababu unataka kuingia. Have a reason, have a goal. And even from the definition of SACCO, it's a savings and credit cooperative society. Yes.
Ama unaingia tu juu umeona watu waliingia.
Hapana.
Sasa watu walisema tio tuingie SACCO.
Why? Guys get into SACCOs for them to be able to save and to get access to credit.
Okay, Vincent Barkuto, good morning, Jimmy, live from Nandi East Center. University, good morning, bro. Good work. Thank you so much. Now, I think there was something else here. It's about insurances. Every time ukienda kila mahali unapata kuna mtu anakuuzia kitu, anakuuzia insurance, anakuuzia life insurance, anakuuzia property insurance. There's always someone dishing out. Anywhere you go.
And that is why
and
that is why financial literacy is key.
They work.
Because people get into some of these things, some of these products without really understanding why they are there. Right? Especially wanatagetingi watu wenye wameanza kazi. Hawa watu wa sales insurance. Wanakuja wanakuuzia kitu wewe umesign hapo. So, number one thing I'd like to encourage people is to question this person who's selling you that insurance. First of all, if someone is selling insurance as an investment, mwambie hiyo ni uongo. Hiyo ni uongo bana. Hiyo ni uongo.
Watu si wajinga bana.
So number one thing we need to
say it doesn't work.
I'm saying here, this is what I'm saying. Insurance is not an investment. Tuanzie hapo. That is what I'm saying. Insurance is not an investment. Insurance should be for protection.
Okay.
All right? And I'd like to advise that we take insurance, especially health, medical insurance. That is key. Right? Because we do not want to work hard and then we accumulate assets and then unfortunately, God forbid, we get sick and then we need to liquidate these assets, right, to sort our bills. Lipa medical insurance. Anza na NHIF, tafadhali, right? Bare minimum NHIF, which will take you far. But then also if you're able to pay for insurance, hata kama ni kidogo aje, you pay for that. It will help you out. And then I'd like to urge people not to take insurance as something that is preserved only for the wealthy. Ati ni masonko. Hapana. Especially health insurance, medical insurance, hiyo ni kitu muhimu sana. Na itakuja kusaidia. And I'd like to advise that you take it when you're young, so that you continue with that policy. Ukigonjeka wewe unaenda tu pale kwa hospitali na una swipe card yako. Unatibiwa bila mambo mengi. Emergency ikikuja, you don't need kuchanga pale. Unaona? Uko sawa. As you get into retirement, you will be sorted. Because one thing is key is getting into insurance when you are young. Because when you try to get it when you're old, these insurance people, they are very wise. They say, baby, you're getting here because now you know that you are at high risk of getting sick. Right? That's why you want to get into insurance. So they will make it very hard for you to access insurance when you're old. Right? Because they know the likelihood of you getting sick is very high. Right? Because sababu ya umri pia. So try get insurance now when you're young and continue with that policy. Lipa tu. Hata kama ni bare minimum, lipa tu your insurance. Hata kama utagonjeka hii mwaka, you never know where it will going to help you. Especially for people with families. Please take insurance. Itakusaidia mambo ya mtoto kugonjeka, inasaidianga sana. Yes, I cannot emphasize this more. Insurance is there for protection. And if someone is trying to sell you insurance as an investment,
kuna venye laibambi vitu mbili, so take insurance, health insurance, but insurance on investment whatever it is, nasema stories za ajaba.
But lakini also pia you can insure your assets, insure your phone, insure your laptop, so that if ikibiwa,
you don't know how painful it is until kaende ukatu kwa jam hivi
bas. So insurance again, unaona ni nini ya protection, so investment. Unaona hiyo una protect asset yako, right? So you can insure your business against fire, against violence, against terrorism, right? For protection. Unaona? It is protecting that business. It is protecting your assets. Lakini as an investment, kidogo hapana. So insurance is for protection, for your health and also for your assets.
Okay. Now there are two things here as well, finally. And it's about two things that Kenyans love. First of all, if there's something Kenyans love so much, is something called pyramid schemes. Anything that promises Kenyans money. They are quail business. Quail ilikujanga. Tukayeka wote.
Pyramid schemes.
Tukayeka. Kila mtu akakuwa kuna quail.
Kila mtu ako hapo na quail.
Kila mtu akakuwa unakula quail kila siku aziishi wanazaana. Hakuna mtu ananunua. Unawatuma wanajaribu kwenda kuwatupa forest jioni wanarudi unapatana nao nyumbani. So nyingine ikakuja zitu inaitwa desi ama inaitwa nini?
Watu wakawekeza.
Nyingine ikakuja inaitwa crowd what?
Yeah.
Hizi inaitwa crowd work. Ikakuja kakazunguka Wakenya wakapoteza pesa. Tunangoja ingine sasa hii mwaka 2023 ingine yenye nabamba zaidi.
Na wacha nikwambie
Kenyans and pyramid scheme.
People will continue to be duped because of the lack of information.
And multi-level marketing.
Yes, kwanza hiyo multi-level first of all, number one way to spot a pyramid scheme ni ukiambiwa uleta rafiki yako.
Yeah.
Ukisikia bring someone else. Uleta watu wengine watatu. Hapo ujue hiyo ni pyramid scheme. Because that's how it works. Inaanza na wewe wa juu, alafu wengine watatu chini yako, alafu wengine hao watatu pia wataambiwa uleta wengine watatu. So that's how the pyramid becomes a pyramid, yeah? So number one thing about a pyramid scheme is if you're told bring 3 of your friends. Na wao wakikuja utaanza kupata do. Na wao wakikuja wataambiwa pia wao walete wengine watatu.
Na ndio unapata do zaidi.
Sasa unapata do zaidi. That is a pyramid scheme. Now, when it comes to investment or wherever you want to put your money, I'd like to urge everyone tuned in today to always ensure that it is regulated. There's a regulatory authority, a regulatory body where you're putting your money. Tumeanza na banks. Banks are regulated by Central Bank of Kenya. Rarely or barely will you put your 1,000 in a bank today na kesho haiko. It almost never happens. Okay. Almost. It almost never happens. Right? But tunasema it almost never happens because of the high regulation that is there. So whenever you're putting your money anywhere, lazima ikuwe regulated. And ndio maana people have gotten duped mambo ya property, mambo ya mashamba. Mtu unanunua unauziwa hewa. Why? Because hakuna regulation pale. Okay. Yes. There's really no strong regulation when it comes to property. That's why people are losing money there. So Kenyans, Taklas, if you're tuned in, remember, if you're putting your money somewhere, lazima kuwe na regulatory authority. A watchdog, watchi pale anaangalia pesa yako. Ule mtu anacheza nayo, anacheza aje.
Bora utalia peke yako.
Ala sasa, when there's someone who is watching over it, when something happens, then you can go.
The regulator.
You can go to Central Bank and tell them, wewe, mlifanya ni hao watu mlikuwa wapi hao watu wakifanya.
Watu wakituibia pesa.
Otherwise.
On that note of regulatory, there's been this story of Bitcoins. I remember.
Now, unaona sasa pia Bitcoin, there is no regulatory authority. Yes.
So Bitcoin, tuachana naye. Leonard is asking, what's your take on Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, here's the thing. We need, first of all, literacy is important in anything that you're getting into. So Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin first of all? Bitcoin is just a currency that is digital. Digital currency, that's it. But it is secure because we create Bitcoins wewe mwenyewe. There's a long process. It's called mining. So number one thing, you need to know why you're getting into Bitcoin. People got because watu wengine waliingia na walisikia watu walipata
pesa.
Siku hizi unasikia Bitcoin sana?
Haisikia. Kuna time nilikuwa nafuatwa lakini mimi na sikuange fan wa hizo vitu.
Kwa sababu it was the talk of town. You see? And people got there. Kuna watu walitengeneza pesa. There are also people who lost money.
But I think also when it comes to these pyramid schemes and these things, I think if you are clever enough, you go in first. You make your money and come out.
Yes.
History ya kusema tunaweka pesa ngambo
Bitcoin, the guys who got there first, those guys made a lot of money. But now it is them.
But they also lost it. They overstayed.
Yes, if you overstayed again.
Na kaka ukisema you want to make more money.
Remember Gerald, have a goal. Have a goal. Why am I getting into this thing?
Mbele ndio kuzama okoa pesa yako haraka.
Ukiona yeye na chini Yes. So have a goal. And then also ukiingia kwa market wa kwanza, you are better off. Lakini sasa what happens is the people who get there first, they make their money, wananyamaza alafu mtu unaona by the way unapataje pesa ni Bitcoin. Wanakuja wengi. And then you think all of you are going to make the same money.
So wanachukua pesa zenu wanaingia nyasi.
How sasa? Right? If you first of all tunasemanga investment, a good investment ni ile yenye haijulikani sana. A deal. Usianga deal. Deal ni ile haijulikani. Lakini ile unasikia
kila mtu anajua.
Hiyo sio deal bana. Hata kwa mashamba unasikianga kwa radio wana advertise nunua plot hapa. Hiyo sio deal. Deal ni ile mtu by the way kuna kashamba
kufichia chini ya maji.
Bas. Ndio so that everyone doesn't know. Yes. Lakini when it is out there, yes,
that is a problem. Yeah. Pauline is asking Binance. Kwani kuna Binance? Kuna tofauti ya Bitcoin na Binance? What's Binance?
Binance is a wallet. Okay. That ilikuwa inasaidia watu kufanya your trading. Where you store your Bitcoin. Yes.
So in
Binance. Hiyo ni mobile wallet.
Speaking of logbook loans, people are suffering from these unregulated loan lenders. By the way, the convenience of credit. Naambia leta ka logbook for 5 minutes uko na pesa yako. That's the last time you get to see that.
Again, guys, let us save for emergencies. Unajua kwa sababu ati hiyo 24-hour loan,
hiyo story ya kuwekelea inakuwa
hiyo 24-hour loan. Why are you getting into that 24-hour loan? Kwa sababu unataka pesa haraka, si ndio? Because of an emergency. So guys, please let's save for an emergency. Ndio tusifike hapa unauza gari yako unapenda sana unaiekelea logbook unapewa unaekelea title deed na huo Shylock anakupatia exorbitant rates. Right? I'd like to advise that we don't do that. We don't get there by saving for an emergency. Usingoje kitu itokee. Save so that ikitokea uko sawa.
Okay. All right. So mambo ya credit ya mbio unasema unataka quick loan. Quick loan doesn't help it.
A quick loan will come with high interest rates. Very
That's
high.
How you lose your assets. Yeah. Mambo ya Shylock na mambo ya easy quick whatever.
Again, unaona those people are not regulated, si ndio?
Yes, they are not. Kikiumana kimekuumania.
Wakifunga ofisi, utaendea wapi logbook yako?
Money disappears. All right, okay. I think we are heading towards our tail end, and I would just want to understand. Maybe we look forward and look ahead. What is the future outlook in terms of business and wealth creation prospects? Kuna pale mbele, which are some of the prospects that we can look in terms of creating wealth?
First of all, I'd like to say, even as we finish or we look at the tail end, as we approach the tail end, asante sana kwa hiyo opportunity. Na pia wale wametune in mpaka saa hizi, congratulations and big up to them. And one thing about me, Gerald, I am a very hopeful person. Mimi nakuanga mtu positive, so I always look forward to the best. Right? So, and I know if I continue doing what I am doing now, if I continue paying myself first, if I continue saving, if I continue investing in the right places, I'll be good. Right? And then also if I continue investing in myself, in knowledge, in education, in as much literacy, kama ni financial literacy, kama ni biashara, niende nisome mambo ya biashara, then I'll be good. Kama ni kusoma nisome kitabu ya, kama ni story nisisikize stories za Jaba, nisikize stories za these other people.
Stories zinajenga.
But then also not so many motivational, because motivational kidogo ni motivational saa zote. Lakini take that motivational talk, that person that you like to motivate you, msikize, but also do something. Mimi sitaki nikuwe motivational speaker, Gerald. Nataka nikuwe someone that has given you something that you can go and do tomorrow. Right? That ukilipo end month ikifika utakumbuka Mike alisema pay myself first. Right? Nisikuwe hapa nimekufurahisha tu leo. I would like to be that person who has given you practical tips that you can employ in your life, that you can apply in your life to help you. Na nimekuambia pay yourself first, save and invest. Nimekuambia track your spending, angalia pale ile pesa yako penye inaendanga. Right? Alafu pia nimekuambia invest invest, save for a goal. Nimekuambia focus on assets. Assets are things that will put money into your pockets. Alafu nimekuambia diversify your portfolio. Angalia, eka pesa kwa money market fund, which is very good. Eka pesa kwa sako kama unataka kupata credit facility. Eka pesa kwa bank for emergency services. Eka insurance, medical. You see, these are practical things. But all these things, I advise that you get into them after gaining enough knowledge on how they work. Okay. So that useme Michael alisema niweke hapa na sasa mimi sioni venye inanisaidia. So first of all, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? What is your goal? What is your purpose? Your goal and your purpose should be pushing you towards what you need to do, where you need to put your money. Ukishafanya hivyo vitu 2-3 Mike amekuambia leo asubuhi, utakuwa sawa mtu wangu.
Okay. So hakuna motivation, hakuna maombi kwa mambo ya pesa. Ni hesabu.
Iko maombi inakuja ndio pia Mungu akupatie discipline. Ndio pia Mungu akuonesha njia. Lakini Mungu anaweza kuonesha njia alafu wewe upate alafu utajua ufanye nini.
Kuna mtu alisema mwaka hii ni bidii Mungu mbele na unaongeza ukora kidogo. Si kama ni kweli.
Kidogo ukora itaenda mbali. Wacha tuseme hivyo.
Tuko na simu hapa kidogo lakini huyo naye ni kama amepotea kidogo. The phone call was coming in but looks like this one has also disappeared. But anyway, it's 20 minutes past 9 a.m. It's been a pleasure having you. Lisa Joy says congratulations too. Thank you so much for the information. Pauline Cherop. Sherlock is a no for business even if you are dying. Okay. Kama unakufa wachana Sherlock. Thank you so much for coming in, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I really look forward to having before you dismiss me, allow me to plug in what I do.
Please.
Biashara yangu. Mimi is Michael from Centonomy. Centonomy, we teach people how to create wealth, and we have a program called Centonomy 101. Inasaidia watu kupanga mambo ya pesa. It is a 12-week program. Ukikuja pale utajua mambo ya budgeting, mambo ya time value of money, how to plan for future expenses, retirement. Unataka kuretire wapi, Gerald?
But this is retirement, that's something.
Unataka kuretire wapi?
By the wanaume, a lot of men retire.
Where do you want to retire? So, and the retirement is one thing that is key in retirement is income. Unajua umekuwa ukifanya kazi, umeenjoy mshahara, ukiretire, mshahara ikuji. So you need to plan for retirement. Kuna mambo pia madeni, debt. How do you get out of debt? How do you get into good debt? Kwa sababu there is bad debt and good debt. Bad debt ni ile consumption, ile unachukua unaenda unakula. Good debt ni ile unaenda unainvest, you are able to pay it back. And then there is mambo investments. We have 3 investment classes. How do you invest in property? How do you invest in government securities? Mambo ya bonds, bills. How do you invest in shares? Alafu kuna mambo ya protection. How do you take insurance? Mambo ya estate planning. Unapanga aje vitu zako so that you're able to leave it to the next generation. Right? Yes.
Usitoka hapo tuache vita.
Uache watu wako wakipigana, hapana. So it's called Centonomy 101. Angalia centonomy.com, enda Facebook Centonomy, enda Instagram Centonomy IG. Tuko pale na tutakuonesha mambo ya saving, mambo ya investment. Pia kama wewe ni mwanabiashara tujakusahau, we have Centonomy Entrepreneur. That is a program that runs for 14 weeks. Come, we teach you everything to do with business. We taught by business, people who are in business. Tutakuonesha mambo ya identifying opportunities in business. Mambo ya fear and vision. Unajua kama mwanabiashara wengine unaogopa. Pia we help you put structures in that business. Help you understand how you make money in that business, right? Help you, understand mambo ya marketing, understand mambo ya finances, mambo ya working capital, raising capital.
Ndio ujielewe kidogo.
Uelewe biashara yako.
Chukua headphones tusikie Mungwana anasemaje kwa simu. Good morning, Bugala mwenyeji. Good morning.
Morning. How are you, Gerald?
Mso.
Poa sana. I've been tuning na ninajiuliza aki ya Mungu na hii uzee yangu yote. There are some things I thought I knew and I'm realizing I don't know.
Unaona umezeeka na hujajipanga.
So first of all, hujazeeka sana. Wacha tuseme the Chinese have a saying and they say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. Yes.
The next best time is now, and that's why I really, really appreciate this kind of special what probably you meet when you are younger, and then now you have a chance to do it. So if we look at wealth creation, especially in an economy like ours, where probably around 79% of the population live within very, very meager means, like $1 a day, it's a tall order. It's a topic that is sensitive. We are walking connection, especially when we're talking about big investments, and we feel like we are leaving out the people. So I really appreciate Centonomy considering now you factored both sides of the divide. This person who is trying to make ends meet, who is literally just trying to survive, and that other person who's trying to, look at how to expand their wealth. But now, the way I look at wealth creation, and that's one thing I would have wanted us to highlight, especially in the next time we have this show. It's we have to have income generation first.
Yes.
And like you said, the way the government came in saying bottom up, yada, we are going to consider mama mboga and things like this. You have talked about loans, bad loans, those loans that really finish someone. Talked about good loans, something that can help you build. Now, I don't know when it comes to the very low entrepreneur, that person who has a plot somewhere, huko mashinani, somewhere where people don't think it's worth it, aliachiwa na anko yake, na anauza mboga huku tao na anataka kuanza kujenga. And now we are looking at kujenga kama ikiwa kitu yenye. You don't rush into it, the cost of construction is high. But somebody who is feeling that I have 4 children, I'm living in a single room, I would want watoto wangu wakiendelea kukua wakubwa, tuende tukaishi Zengezi, wasio mbali sana na nini na Nairobi. So that kind of balance is what I wanted, Michael, you. At least you tell us, when it comes to creation of wealth, saving in one arena or living a life which is a little bit comfortable can also be termed as wealth creation. I could be a mama mboga, I'm still selling my things, but I'm coming from the Ndegwa. Probably I walk half the way, then the other way I take a motorbike for 50 bob, but I'm coming from my shack. Rather than I live in Kibra, which is nearer the market, I'm not even taking that 50 bob motorbike to the market, but I'm living in a shack where there's no toilet. That's one aspect. Another aspect is the issue of social capital. People never look at social capital, networks, surroundings, wale watu una hang out now. Tunapenda tu kukaa na maboys wetu na magirls wetu ndio tuende Kamereto and Igugu. Gerald, I think you know very well how much boys can waste you. I think when you get to a certain age, to your mid-30s, kuna tu wale watu ni mabesto wa kitambo lakini unawadrop. I don't think we've focused on that as a weakness in our wealth creation. Just to the social capital, the kind of company you keep. Ule boy muna hang out na ye, what do you do? Do you go picking up chicks? Do you go kama ask ladies? Do you go buying those 10,000 bob weaves ndio tufanane na Verasidika? What the kind of company you're keeping? Na tuache hii kama ya mama wa nyumbani, the way our mothers tell us, isiwahi kuona na tetea fulani kwa ni warugi. No, forget that. Now I'm looking at it as a wealth creation pillar. That these guys you're hanging out with, are they booze buddies? Are they let's go close buddies? Let's go shop expensive buddies? Or what do you guys do? You don't even need to advise each other, but just what are we influencing each other? Also, the issue of mental wealth. I was talking yesterday evening to Dr. Anne Morata, and we were talking about mental health and the way she was bashed when she talked about the issue of mental health. I'll tell you because as an individual, I've gotten to a point to the edge. I've gotten some very severe depression, and I realized at that time I couldn't function. I just used to spend crazy amounts. Mental health in itself is not being looked as a pillar of either to create or to destroy the wealth that we have built. Those are some of the aspects I would have wanted us to look at and focus on them, that indeed I have worked. Yes, I have saved this much. There's some that is in liquid assets or near cash assets. Those probably money markets, kwa T-bills. So really I'm a safe person. I have some bits in land. But how is my mental health? And even if my mental health is okay, how ready am I to take a beating from life? Because life normally gives people character development in all sorts of ways. Yeah. It could be a relationship, it could be the death of a loved one, it could be anything that will drive you to the edge. That ulikuwa umesave milioni moja iko mahali ama milioni 6 Bitok. Within 3 months umechoma, and then you wonder, what did I buy? I bought a pickup that I don't even need. Angasiju, I did what? Just to try and maintain yourself and ujiambie uko sawa. The much we've lost because of not being properly taken care of when it comes to issues of mental well-being is a lot. So those are the areas I would want that are not just money-making ventures, but they are just pillars of wealth creation
in how you create wealth.
Yeah. There are pillars of wealth creation that are not looked at. The social capital and the mental well-being. Let's forget, we are always told time is money. We know time is money. So the time aspect of making money, I think everybody knows, we just ignore. Okay. But the issue of the mental health, if there is something that has even finished people who are sober and straight and they've put their lives in order, kitu kidogo inamhapenia kwa life and go on a spiral. The issue of social capital, what are your networks? These networks, there's something that this lady we were to be with called Sebi posted once in Facebook, and she was really bashed for it, that the people you hang out with or the time you spend on social media, it should generate something for you. But we are not looking at that. All we are looking at is job yangu inanitengenezea kidogo ngapi nitasimu ngapi. So those are areas also I would wish Mike to tell us whether they train on those. The fact that non-money making ventures can be an area that is harboring or that is preventing us from generating the wealth that we should or we are capable of generating.
Okay, thank you so much, Muso. That's quite an insightful contribution. All right, in 1 minute, Mike.
Hey, Muso, thank you for that. Putting me on the spot, but again, spot on. All right. So. Number one, she's talked about financial freedom in all aspects, in all areas of life, not only high income, middle income, but also the low income. And I'd like to advise each and every person listening to this show, if you have friends, if you have relatives, first of all, encourage them. Encourage them to umwambie unaweza toka hapa where you are. To have something we call an abundance mindset, right? To think and live abundantly, right? Hata kama where you are,
motivation there.
Ni motivation, lakini again kila siku kwa mimi niko hapa mimi. You see, but it starts with you having an abundance mindset, right? So motivation works at some point, right? Because hata hii motivational speech ndio itakusaidia utoke penye huko at some point, right? So have an abundance mindset, as Mso is talking. Hata kama unatoka wapi, have that mindset that you unaweza make it. Pia wewe, it is not only reserved for the few. And then, alisema mambo ya the people we hang out with. Friends. Hey, I can tell you, friends, they can make you and they can also, break you. Wanasemanga, you are an average of the 5 people you hang out with. Kama if you hang out with 4 people and all of them are thieves, then you're the 5th thief. If you hang out with 4 millionaires, then probably you'll be the 5th millionaire, right? So, especially men. Hawa watu mnaendanga kwa bar na wao. Hawa watu mnaendanga wherever sherehe na wao. Are there other things that you are doing? Mnasaidiana in other things in life. Because again I say, especially us men, we like to majipiga kifua. Mimi kwangu, mimi ndio simba kwangu. Mimi pesa yangu, mimi biashara yangu iko sawa. Right? Mimi ndio utero everywhere wewe uko sawa. So I'd like to advise that we be very careful with the friends that we are keeping. Ukiona huyu mtu akupeleki vizuri, hata kama you've been friends for long, it doesn't mean that you need to be friends for life. Unaweza amua hiyo rafiki yetu brother sioni kama inatupeleka vizuri. Wewe kama simu zako ni zile tu za tuende hapa sijui tu unaona. So we should be able to know who our true friends are. Friends who will not only be with you when in times of sherehe, but pia kikiumana watakusaidia. Alafu pia ukwe na wale warafiki watakuambia ukweli. Unajua wale watakuambia hapa brother unapotea. Hii njia unaenda sio poa. Na friends who are able to tell you that. And then also mambo ya mental health, it's very important, especially in this day and age, especially sisi wanaume. Unajua sisi wanaume Bitok, unajua tunajiwekea vitu. Sema mimi siwezi ongea. If I talk and say my problems, I might appear to be weak. Watu watashangaa kumbe pia unapitana mashida. So I'd advise that if you can get someone that you can talk to, someone who is able to hear you out without criticizing you. Jua pia unaongea na mtu huyo anakukriticize. Ama unaongea kusema huko. Ama unaongea na mtu anakuambia wewe hata hiyo sio shida. Mimi niko na shida kubwa kuliko. Hii ni kidogo hii. Wewe hii si shida. So get someone you can open up to, mtu ambaye atakusikiza. Na hata kama atakusaidia sana, unaona pia hiyo kukusikiza atakuonesha by the way hauko peke yako sana, na pia ni vizuri pia unajua kusikizwa, just even being heard. Wasemanga problem shared is a problem half solved. But if there's someone unaenda kuongea naye anakuambia wewe hata hiyo sio shida, wewe si umeamka, si uko na familia, si uko na kazi, si unalia nini, kuna mtu mwenye hata kale shida kidogo uko nako ni kashida pia, and you need someone who will be able to listen to you, right? Hata kama hata kutoka kwa hiyo shida, again, a problem shared is a problem half solved. So get someone who will be able to listen, and then also get someone who is able to listen and help you out. Someone will be able to link you. Mimi nilikuwa na hii shida nikafanya hivi. Niko na best yangu, hebu anafanyanga hii mambo. Wanaume, if you can go for therapy. I know. Sisi ni wa Afrika. Na hizi vitu tunasema hizi vitu za wazungu. If you can, if you're in a position to, yes, get that help. Because there's no need Bitok tukue na pesa lakini uko na stress.
Uko depressed.
Uko na pesa, uko na magari, uko na manyumba lakini uko depressed. Ya nini?
There's no need.
Hii mambo ya suicide, hii mambo ya saa zingine overindulging in drugs and alcohol, it could be because of hiyo vitu tunapitia. You could be having a good family, you could be having a good job, a good business, but there are things that you're struggling with. So if you are struggling with something, open up, go for therapy, and usiogope watu watasema nini. At the end of the day, wewe ndio unajua unaanza kulala aje. When you go to sleep, your thoughts, what are those thoughts? Right. So talk to someone if you can, and maisha ndio ikuwe balanced. Have a well balanced life, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually.
All right, thank you so much. And I think the next time when you come in, there's also something that we need to understand is managing transition and inheritance. There is a lot of another crisis in terms of people managing their transition. People managing transition of wealth, transition of control, transition of management, and also inheritance. You find that people build wealth for very many years, and then again the wealth just disappears. Once they are out of the scene. So that's a conversation that we need to have, and also to try and actually talk to African parents and African people that they need to manage the transition. Well, I think that's one thing that Africans we've never really managed to control.
It's that passing on of wealth to the next generation.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you.
Man, it has been a pleasure as well. Unajua hiyo show yako, mimi nakwambia nimekuwa nikiona, and I have first of all I'm glad to be enjoyed, to have been invited, and pia nimeenjoy.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hosting you again. You can create a series and start working on speaking to the Kenyans about all these issues. Thank you so much. Every tackle has been with us. It's always a pleasure to have you. Always in, and I always tell you that without you, the tackle could never be. The tackle is because you are, and because of your love, and ensuring that you're always sticking with us. I hope you got and value from today's show. It has been the Common Sense edition of the 6th of March, 2023. And we've been speaking about wealth creation, pathways to wealth, some of the financial practices and discipline that can ensure that you can be a better person. We'll keep these conversations going, of course. But stick with us. Any questions that you also want to follow up with, please don't hesitate to send it to us on the inbox, and we'll be able to send them to Michael and get to respond wherever we can. Until tomorrow on the State of the Nation edition, this is the tackle, and it ends now. We love you. Bye-bye.